Hi team! The purpose of today's module is to walk you a little bit further through the functionality of the supervisor portal, including some more details on editing punches, and most importantly, authorizing time in preparation for finalization of each payroll period as it comes due each Monday. And if you are keeping up with this process that we will go through on a day-to-day or every other day basis, it is a fairly easy process as far as finalization of time in preparation for payroll. And with that being said, I would like to log into the manager portal and demonstrate some of this functionality. As you can see, as I'm logging in here, this view is defaulting to the My Timesheets tab for the people that report directly to me. And I can see that they've been pretty consistent with clocking in and out, at least on Monday, March 18th. Pretty good with clocking in and out. However, I do have one missing punch right here. That would need to be edited. Looks like this is probably an on-call scenario, and maybe a scenario in which your maintenance team was not able to clock in or clock out due to circumstances, and may have handed you a missed punch log documenting what they have missed. It is each employee's responsibility to be documenting their missed punches, and you do want to make sure that you have sign-off before entering time into each employee's time card for them. In this scenario, we simply would highlight the square. And again, as you've seen before, we have our plus sign, our pencil sign, and the delete sign. We actually, in this case, probably the easiest way would be just to add a new punch to the, simply indicate the time you are trying to add. And this would be a shift end punch and add. And as you can see, there's no longer an indicator where there is a missed punch. You do want to make sure that you do click on save so that you don't lose your data. And that time has been corrected. A case in point, looks like Tuesday, March 19th, maybe we had a technical issue and they weren't able to get to the time clock that day, and we need to edit everybody's time. You can start by using the add new shift function, as has been demonstrated before. This would give you a start time and end time. If you need to add a meal time, you can simply click on the coffee cup and edit times as would be applicable. You can even document if one of your employees was actually working at another location. You can actually allocate their time to that location. Again, we need to add some punches here. And we could simply go back into this time entry. Using the pencil, you can actually edit the punches. And there's now an add, edit, transfer functionality under this pencil. This actually is new since the last recording was made, so this is something that you may not have seen previously in the menu options as I walk through this particular function. But if you click add, edit, transfer, the way you would actually add the transfer is to click on the plus arrow in the upper left-hand corner of the window that's just opened. And it's going to give you the opportunity to change a location at whatever applicable time of the day that would have occurred. If, case in point, this particular employee went to another location at 10 a.m. in the morning, simply enter the time and then enter the applicable department that they were working within. At that point in time, they actually would have been in between 8 and 5, but their time between 10 and 5 would be charged to Mountain View. Now, if they actually came back to their home property during the day, can add another time for transfer. And at this point, your time between 8 and 10 would be charged to nulls. The time between 10 and 1:30 would be charged to Mountain View, and the time between 1:30 and 5 should be charged to the nulls. Again, remember to click on Save. At this point, to see the detail as far as transferring is concerned, you can hover over the blue arrow, and it will at least detail the times in which there was a job transfer performed. As the week is going on, and you are keeping track of your employee's time, you do not need to wait until the end of the payroll to actually authorize time. You can, as the week is going on, highlight the applicable days that you would like to authorize time for, whether one at a time. You can highlight the whole column. You can actually click and drag across the whole grid. However it is easier for you to manage that, and simply click on the Authorize button to authorize that time. As you can see, this little check mark then appears to let you know that you actually have authorized the shift. Just for demonstration purposes, as we move into the final pay authorization, or the final pay authorization process, I just want to add one more shift. With a missed punch. And as you can see, there's a question mark down in the totals column because there is no out punch in this particular scenario. In order to view the list of payroll periods that you will be finalizing every other Monday, simply go to My Day. And as you may remember, My Day is split between the Time Off Request Manager and the Pay Approved checklist. If you expand the dates here, you will see a list of past and upcoming payroll periods appear. This is the current payroll period that we just finished processing through the old process, and it is marked red because technically at this point in time it's actually past due. Your upcoming payrolls, because they're not due, they're not closed, would actually be marked in blue. And if this particular payroll we were working on this as of Monday, it actually would be green to indicate that you needed to actually be working on that particular payroll. In order to minimize, or rather I should say maximize, the Pay Approved checklist, simply click on the green square in the upper right-hand corner of that particular part of the screen. And that will change your view and maximize this so that you can see the full view of the authorized time cards. And these columns would indicate any problems with those time cards. Because the missed punch punch that I had set up in the demonstration previously was actually same day. Obviously, that employee might still be actually working and just not clocked out yet, so that's not showing up as a missed punch. So time cards have been edited again to demonstrate what your checklist would look like. If you had a problem punch, in this case it will be a missed punch. Active punches, meaning somebody who's actually clocked in, unauthorized records, etc. The easy way to toggle between your pay checklist and your time cards is to simply click on the pencil on the applicable payroll period, and that will take you back to your time cards. As we can see again, we have this red X here indicating a missed punch. Particular note, we can add a punch to close out this particular day. And remember to click on Save. We also had a number of unauthorized time cards. Again, those would be the time cards without the check marks. And we can add a punch on that time, and you can go back to my day. And as you can see, we still have someone clocked in, but if we refresh this page, then we will see that the authorized record number has now gone to 0. In order to resolve this particular number, our goal is actually to have all 4 columns be 0 as we are approving our payroll. We'll go back to the time cards, and this particular employee, we will just pretend has left for the day, and we will add a new punch, and the punch type would be shift end in this particular scenario. And as you can see, all of your problem punches have now been resolved, and all of these are 0. If it was time to be finalizing your payroll and you have edited your time cards and every column is 0, you are then ready to click on the lock column. You need to remember to click on Save. This particular payroll is not ready to be fully locked since we're not done with this particular payroll period, but simply clicking again and locking is the process you would go through once you had authorized all your time cards and resolved all missed punches and all other problem shifts or problem ins or outs that may exist. Missing punches for on-call, missing punches because somebody forgot to clock in or clock out, etc. And as you can see, because we actually approved this time period, the status now has gone from a red bullet to a green check mark. If you know that you are going to be absent the day that the pay approved checklist finalization process is due, you actually have the capability to delegate that responsibility to another employee. If you simply go to the Me tab and click on the Delegation tab to the left, in this area, clicking on the new icon will give you the opportunity to search for the employee that you would like to delegate 2. This filter is going to come up with your name being the default manager. If you simply click Clear Filter, that will allow you to search beyond your particular team. In most cases, this responsibility should be delegated to your regional manager. So simply search on the name that you would like to delegate this responsibility to. Give an effective date from and an end date. You may want to designate a reason that you're gone. Now, in the case of your regional manager, you do not need to restrict pay access. If there was an emergency scenario and your regional manager was not available, or you were out for a lengthier period of time and maybe another manager is overseeing your property, or maybe your assistant manager is helping with some of these duties in the interim, you certainly would want to restrict the pay access. And that is done by simply clicking in the box, which will result in a check mark. And at that point, if you save this, your responsibilities would be delegated to Tony in this case. I want to thank you for your time. Certainly, if you have any questions regarding the pay approved checklist or any other functionality within the manager portal or the employee portal, please contact any of the HR team and we are happy to assist.